Metropolis Popcorn started in 2004, just off campus at Kent State. It moved to Cuyahoga Falls at its current location sometime in 2008, and then I purchased the business in 2012. In 2020, we purchased a similar business called Amaze Popcorn in Hudson, Ohio, along with the popcorn truck. 10 years ago, this wasn't even on my radar. I worked a corporate job, had a good salary. The team of employees that I was responsible for actually was performing very well, but the company as a whole was underperforming. So in spite of good performance, I lost my job. When it happened the second time, I just decided that that was enough and I didn't want to work for anybody else besides me. When I was looking around for small businesses to buy, I considered everything, franchises, local businesses, you name it, I looked at it. And then I happened to see Metropolis Popcorn was for sale, and I had been a customer probably a dozen times there, and I knew that it was a good product. I looked at it a little closer, and the things that was missing were things that were my strength. I knew I wouldn't mind putting in the extra time because, again, I'm working for myself. My wife was very supportive, still is very supportive of some of the long days that I put in. So I had the full support of my family, which I wouldn't have done it otherwise. And I was part confident, part naive, I think, because looking back, there's a whole bunch of mistakes we made. But you know, we just kept going forward and learning from those mistakes as best we can. Biggest challenge that I've faced as an entrepreneur in our industry probably came in 2020 with the pandemic. We had to quickly transition or pivot what we were doing. And instead of being open for walk-in business, we really started doubling down on our online business. And thankfully, we were already set up with a great website and had an e-commerce presence. We also offered curbside pickup. Things like that we were able to pretty quickly and easily transition into. Beyond that, I mean, there's a lot of things that I could look at and point to and say, I wish I would have known or wish I would have thought differently, like about on the product side of things. It's not what I want, because I'm not the one coming in and plopping money down to buy popcorn. It's about what our customers want. And so since that day, anytime we've come out with new flavors, we will typically throw them out as like a test on Facebook and say, hey, here's 5 ideas we're thinking of. Which one of these do you think is gonna be the best? And after all, those people that are engaged with us on social media are gonna be most likely to buy from us because they have already some sort of engagement with us. And I kind of let the people choose. I let my employees choose too. Very rarely do I just pull a flavor out of my pocket and say, hey, we're gonna make this. And I stopped doing that a long time ago, because it's not about me and what I like, it's about what my customers like and what my employees can get behind too. Purchasing an existing business is a viable concept towards becoming an entrepreneur or owning your own business. It's a little bit different than starting something up from scratch. Oftentimes when you're starting from scratch, it could be a smaller investment because there's value to an existing business that you're purchasing. There's also a huge benefit towards purchasing an existing business. When I purchased the business, it had been around for roughly 8 years. Even though it was in a down cycle whenever I purchased it, it still gave us a head start versus just starting from scratch. There's the opportunity to, if the previous owner's willing to stay on, to offer training and their expertise. You're purchasing the existing equipment that comes along with the business. So there's a lot of benefits to purchasing an existing business. When we purchased the original store, that was the case. And then when we expanded, we purchased a store that was also operational. And to me, even though it was a little more expensive, that's the way to go, because you can learn from somebody who is in that industry, not just what to do, but of course what not to do. There are some potential drawbacks to it as well. because if the previous owner didn't do a great job of running the business, or if the business had a bad reputation before, that's something that you're going to have to overcome. Bestseller is Puppy Chow, which I don't have out here, but it is caramel corn with a chocolate and peanut butter coating, and then it's got powdered sugar sprinkled on top. So bestseller by far. My favorite is the Buffalo Ranch. It is just the right amount of spice. It's not going to knock your socks off, but it's got good spice, a little bit of cheesiness to it. It kind of tastes like you're eating wings. Entrepreneur would have been beneficial to me because when I was in school, I always got pretty good grades, so I was sort of on the track to college. I had a lot of different ideas of what I wanted to do when I grew up, when I was a kid. I know I wanted to be a lawyer, I wanted to be a surgeon. When I started out college, I wanted to be a high school history teacher or social studies teacher. That was my first major, was education. There's really not a path, at least when I was in school. There wasn't a path for people who wanted to start their own business. It would have been fantastic to have some sort of curriculum in place for people that, like me, that had that different way of thinking.